different positions. Fortunski has won 2 of his 4. Oy, as I said, has won all of his. Nevertheless, when you factor in the countback of racks, they're effectively first and second in the table at the moment. Although Fortunski only 1 rack ahead of Alban Ocean, who's played 1 match less. Carl Boyce is alongside me once again. And Carl, the way Oy has played today, I can't think of anyone who's played as well as him all week.
Yeah, very impressive stuff from the Japanese superstar. As you've alluded to, 4 out of 4, but still got to go on and win your semi-finals and finals, so first goal is to qualify, of course. And over on table number 2, Kelly Fisher, who has been pretty much one of the big stories of the week, even though she's not qualified. She's on no wins from 4, so she's in a different kind of battle than Naoyuki.
Yeah, what we know with her is that if she loses her 2 matches tonight, then that's definitely the end of her involvement in this tournament. She will finish bottom and will therefore be eliminated. But more than capable of turning it round, actually, because the 2 players she plays tonight are both players she's beaten already this week. In Fine's case, she's beaten him twice. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Over here, what has Oy been left with from the break?
Yeah, he's playing a push out. No shot on the 1 ball. There you see Naoyuki trying to tie the 2 ball up as well. That's a pretty popular shot on the push out when players can do. Fortunski on day 1, well, he was flawless, wasn't he? And then he had that classic match against Kelly Fisher, where you could argue was a little bit unlucky. At 4-4, he hooked Kelly behind the ball and she kicked it and fluked the ball, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, and you feel that's taken the wind out of his sails ever since. There was certainly that sense yesterday, and even today, although he's doing okay, he's nowhere near the levels he reached when he first came here on Tuesday.
Extension, please.
Niels Fine, just looking over at the other table, has missed a sitter on the 4 ball there in the opening rack. He's played pretty well all week, but he's missed some extraordinary balls. So maybe a chance for Fisher there. We'll let you know how that turns out. Oh, look at this.
Well, Naoyuki kicks the 1 ball in and he gets position on the 2. Wow. I mean, to kick this in and then get the actual angle on the 2 is incredible. Naoyuki, it is your day.
Picking up where he left off, it seems. It's been over for a few days already. Came over about 3 or 4 days ago. When you're coming from so far away, you don't want to be still jet lagged when you start playing.
Yeah, that was a smart move. Many of the players from overseas usually fly into these events kind of, you know, on the last minute, and often you see the players, you know, talking, walking around the hotel saying, oh, they've still got jet lag, they've not slept, but Naoyuki's come over well prepared for this event, and I think it's paying off because he's looked very sharp today.
Yeah, and although he is bound for the semi-finals, he'll want to keep the momentum going. Not even necessarily in terms of results, but just with the way he's playing. So, business as usual for Naoyuki Oy. Very quickly, he opens a 1-0 lead over Mieszko Fortunski.
Yeah, quick update on table 2. Kelly Fisher, she won the first rack after Niels Fine making a mistake. As Michael alluded to, she's already beaten Niels twice this week, so maybe Niels is fighting the demons. Nearly said diamonds there. Demons in his brain.
Well, being a pool player, he's probably got diamonds in his brain as well.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention that. The way these pool cues are made, what they do is they laser out kind of the shape in the butt of the cue and then they inlay things. And I've seen a few pool cues over the years where they've had diamond inlaid into them.
Well, Naoyuki Oi has certainly been shining bright today. Mieszko Fortunski
Rack number 2.
already knew he was up against it. Even more so now, as Oi looked very sharp in the opening rack. But it's the pole to start us off in rack 2.
And we've not seen many of them this week. The old dry break.
Yeah, and what's worse than a dry break is a dry break where you leave a simple one on a good chance. "38 years of age, Naoyuki Oi. He's been a World Championship semi-finalist in both 9-ball and 10-ball. In recent years, he's had more and more good runs in big events. Last 8 of the US Open in 2017. Last 16 of the last staging of the World 9-ball. And almost got to the last 8, only beaten 11-9 by Lu Haitao.
That was a nice shot there from Naoyuki. Had to draw the cue ball out. Issue in this rack's going to be the purple 5. I mean, there is a combo on the purple 5 onto the brown 7, but it's one of them type of shots where you want to be close. He does have a good angle here though. He could, well, there you see, just give you a little teaser where he wants the cue ball, where often you see players do that. They put the cue where they would like the cue ball to go. I mean, he's not marking the rail, of course. Cue ball needs to slow down. And he's no shot.
This game's gone.
Yeah, what with that, Naoyuki? We're not used to seeing this from your pal. It's a terrible shot.
He's giving himself a bit of a talking to there. He's probably surprised for a shot not to go exactly as intended. Hasn't happened very often today.
Attention, please.
So he tried the cut and he's missed the cut, so Mieszko Fortunski has got a nice simple layout of 5 balls, no traffic to worry about. This is all about cue ball positioning. Of course, Fortunski is second in the league, but there's many players on 2 wins, so we'll see how that turns out come the end of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, we say that, but 4 players on 2, and Fortunski is at the head of those in second place because he's won 13 racks, but Ocean and Thorpe have both won 12 and Fiennes won 11, and indeed 2 of those 3 players, Ocean and Fiennes, have played 1 less match than Fortunski. So not saying he's in a bad position by any means, but being second in the table is probably a little flattering. Well, this was such an obvious opportunity that he 100% had to take it. So a rare lapse from Naoyuki Oi has been exploited to the full by Mieszko Fortunski, and he levels at 1 apiece.
Yeah, the players from Poland, they've really come on over the years. Myself, Chris and Darren, we went over to a team event, well, probably 10 years ago, I bet, maybe a little bit longer. And we played Team Poland and they had 1 or 2 decent players. And now they could put a real strong team together. Really, the game's really come on over in Poland. They play many local events and they're playing live on TV, so that's obviously helping and gaining them confidence. Niels Feijen over on table 2 is just scratched, so Kelly Fisher's in a very important match over there against the Terminator. She needs that win because she's on no wins, and Christina of course beat Kelly earlier on.
Yeah, you talk about Fortunski and the Polish scene. He's never represented Poland in the World Cup of Pool. Well, he's come on the last year or two. He might just have a chance of being in the team for the forthcoming staging. I'm sure there'll be some announcements about that in the coming days, and we'll bring them to you.
Yeah, the World Cup of Pool will be in May, the 9th through to the 14th, so action-packed. It's always a fun event, drama. There we see Naoyuki always break. Very unlucky. You see a random ball come and flick it in the pocket. It'll be interesting to see how many times that's happened in this event. Michael, have you made notes of that?
Unfortunately, my statistical mind doesn't quite stretch that far, Carl. We'll have to employ someone to do just that at the next tournament.
Yeah, you do see it happen, but I don't recall it happening too many times in this event. It's always one of the worst feelings as a pool player when you break off, you park the cue ball in the middle, and a wandering ball flicks it in a pocket.
Well, we've said Oy hasn't lost yet. He hasn't even been behind yet in any of his matches. But what a chance it is now for Fortunski to be the first player to lead him all through the group.
Needs an angle on this pink 4 and he's got one, so that's a good shot. This just needs a little bit of care. It's not over just yet. It's just got to navigate position to the 5. Spinning it 2 rails into a big open space. That works out lovely.
Kelly Fisher has just stroked in a missable 9 ball from distance to go 2-0 up against Niels Feijen. Is she going to get out of this and escape from her predicament and claim a place in yet another group?
Viv Roscoe is the referee over on table 2. There's a few posts flying around social media. Earlier on she was the referee on table 1 for the Kelly Fisher Christina to catch match, and me and Chris didn't spot it, the players didn't spot it, Viv didn't spot it, but she actually put the 9 ball on the wing ball, and luckily for Viv, Kelly broke from the opposite side. That could have been quite interesting because we do see the wing ball fly in.
Naoyuki Oy finds himself behind for the first time today. He won the opening rack against Mieszko Fortunski, but the man from Poland has won the next 2. He's 2-1 up. We'll have more in just a moment.
One thing's guaranteed, that shot will appear on plenty of highlight reels.
Whoa, did he split the wicket? What a beautiful shot that was. What a beautiful execution.
Look at this. Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's best if you get up to the table and just hit the ball.
League events should not be held until there are no new cases.
Well, that's right up there with me. No crowd, but who needs them?
Just in terms of pure potting ability, he's just one of the best we've ever seen.
Oh my word. Incredible.
What a power-packed partnership it is. Start the engraving process.
It's like everything happens then. You know,
Naoyuki Oi was unlucky to scratch from the break in the third rack. With ball in hand, Mieszko Fortunski ran out from there. So he leads 2-1, and Oi finds himself chasing for the first time today. Niels Fyan has got a straightforward 9-ball to get off the mark on the other table. He's 2-0 down against Kelly Fisher, who's bottom of the table, having lost all her matches so far today. And Fyan has now deposited the 9, so he closes to 2-1.
Rack number
Fortunski
4.
leading 2-1 here as he starts us off in the fourth.
Of Mr. Fortunski. Mr. Fortunski to break.
Been very impressed with Mieszko Fortuni's game so far. I think he's played some lovely pool. Nice cueist. Very good potter of the ball. The Polish potter. Doesn't hit the ball too hard. I expect big things from him in the future. This is an interesting shot. He's going to play this off 1, 2, 3 rails. Back over to the left side of the table for where the blue 2 is. So 1, 2, 3. Didn't quite get into it, so the 9-ball is going to come into tuition here, but I think he's got away with it.
Yeah, just rolled far enough, and really looking at it here, it's a great chance for 3-1. Hard to see any obvious obstacles to that, Carl.
Yeah, and this will just give Naoyuki something to think about, because he's obviously won his 4 out of 4. He knows he's in the semi-finals, and there's a strong chance these two will meet again. So it's important to stamp, you know, your authority on the match and show your opponent what you're made of, because you do think about them losses, and I think Neil's got a bit of that going on table 2, because he's in a battle with Kelly. And I think he's played her 3 times this week and lost 2, Michael.
Yeah, he lost to her on Monday and then again on Tuesday. But then in yesterday's play, turned the tables a bit and won 5-0. But Fisher has got a couple of balls down off the break in rack 4. She's already 2-1 up, and she's got a nice split. She's on the 3-ball already, so she's got a good chance to go 3-1 there. Fortunski's got a good chance to go 3-1 here. And obviously the win would be very useful for him, but a bit of a confidence boost as well to be the man to stop Oi in his tracks, as he would then head into his final match against Fyan. Oi would actually be the first man he's beaten today. His 2 wins were against Fisher and Tkach. Always a lovely feeling to be breaking and already in front in the match. Even more so when you use that break to the full, as Mieszko Fortunski has done there. So he stretches his lead against the group leader. It's now 3-1. Talking to you about that match next door. Let's have a look at it. Fisher still at the table. Banking the 6. You should see it out from here, Carl.
Yeah, I tell you what, Michael, she's made some bank shots this week, you know, and every time she's had a bank shot, she's knocked him in. And we know Billy, the banker Thorpe, is known for his bank shots, but Kelly's not too bad. This needs a little bit of care, this. Whenever there's distance cued that lovely. There's probably not another player in the whole tournament that you would want to shoot that type of shot other than the former snooker superstar Kelly Fisher.
She's done more banking than Goldman Sachs this week.
Number
And that
5.
bank on the 6
Our current score
was
is
the key
3-1.
there.
Mr. Fortunski, Mr.
She's
Oy.
not going to miss that 9, even with the bridge. So 3-1 to Kelly Fisher. Must-win situation, as we said. At the very least, she's got to win one of her 2 remaining matches if she's to have any further involvement in the tournament. Now, back over to the main table. Oy has got us off and running. And looks pretty good, Carl.
Yeah, the first shot's going to be key. Cue ball's near the rail. You can pot the blue 2 all the way down the table. But you can see the red 3 is on the top rail. So that's why if you just look at his cue and his bridge hand, he's striking down on this shot. And he's under it, this. It's a good effort. Just lacked pace. He'd have been better off over hitting that shot, because if you land on the side rail, that's fine. So slight error, but he was probably putting all his focus into the pot. Forgot about the cue ball.
So does he play the bank here, or can he cut it into the corner?
Extension, please.
Yeah, I think the cut is on. It's very thin. I think that's what he's playing, because he's come down and looked at the angle. Cue ball will be flying up and down the table, so he's got to judge the line. You don't want to bump any of the balls, because then you're relying on luck.
Oh, but he's missed it. Never looked in, did it?
So is this a little bit of a thing that we're seeing from Naoyuki? Can he not handle the pressure when he's losing a match?
Well, this is it. It's all been so easy and straightforward for him all day. He was put under a bit of pressure by Kelly Fisher, but came through in the end. Won 5-3. Broken ran 4 times in that match. But again, when you're doing that and it's flowing, you know you're in a strong position. Here he's having to battle a bit more, and things not going as well for him.
Yeah, on a personal note, whenever I was down in a match, I used to love that little bit of a fight where something crazy would happen in the game, whether, you know, you had a bit of good fortune or you pulled out a bit of a dirty finish on your opponent. And yeah, I just used to like that little bit of fight and turn the match round, and you know, you could be 5-0, 5-1 down and get it back to 5-all, and then you call the old time out and take about 20 minutes in the bathroom, so they're sat in the chair thinking about it.
Oh, look at this.
Exhibition stuff from the Polish potter, a bank carom.
What a fantastic way that is to finish it. And just as we were getting a lesson in the dark arts of pool from Carl Boyes, look what Fortunski has pulled out here. So 4-1, he's on the hill. And he's breaking.
Yeah, can't stress how impressed I am with Fortunski. Known about him for a while. He's played all over Europe and on the European tour. I think he has won a European tour as well, so that's no mean feat.
Yep, that was in Italy 5 years ago. And he beat no less a figure than Ralph Suke in the final. He's also won a division of the Derby City Classic. He's been doing well in some of the really top events over the last few years. Good showings at the US Open and the World Championship in 2019. in both cases the last time those events were played.
Rack
So on the
number
hill
6.
with the break,
Current score is
a
4-1.
big chance to become the
Mieszko
first player to
Fortunski.
beat
Mieszko
Naoyuki Oi
Fortunski
today.
to break on the hill.
And would you look at this break? He just needs the 2-ball to run a bit more, and it hasn't, so that's going to be a tricky little shot. But nice break, make the win ball and the 1 ball in the side.
Yeah, this is tricky as you say, but big rewards if he gets it right. I think Oi might start packing his cue away.
Well, that was a result. The natural angle into the 7 was like bottom end of the 7, so there you see, watch the cue ball, just flicked that 7 so it was always going to come over. Well judged. And this is a good chance now, Michael.
Attention,
Oh
please.
yeah, he'll be sick if he doesn't finish it here. And the early signs for Oi were very good. He played about as good a session this afternoon as we've seen from anyone all week. Started off this match in similar vein. But the scratch in the 3rd rack was a big moment, really. I think the moment that we'll all remember from this match, though, is the carom on the 9-ball in the previous rack. But this looks to be as good as over now. And so it would seem is Oi's 100% start.
Yeah, and this will give Naoyuki Oi something to think about. He's qualified for the semis, of course, we know that. But it's not a one-man show for the Japanese superstar.
Mieszko Fortunski starts the night with a big statement. He's ended the unbeaten start of Naoyuki Oi with a 5 racks to 1 win. And he's in very good shape now for a place in another group semi-final. Next up then, Christina Tkach against Billy Thorpe. We're back with that in just a few minutes' time.